When a man tried to bid goodbye to this fawn, she reacted in the most unbelievable way. You may agree that the best part of our home is the backyard, as it gives us our my moments. Want to read a book or take a sip of coffee while admiring the weather? What could be a better place than the backyard? Darius, a Lithuanian outdoorsman, was strolling in his backyard when he welcomed an unexpected guest in his backyard. It was a pregnant deer who had chosen his backyard to give birth. Realizing the deer's intentions, Darius ran inside his home and came out with a camera to capture the moment. The deer gave birth to 2 fawns. While one was absolutely fit, the other one was not that physically sound. Little did Darius know that his discovery in his backyard was going to change his life forever. Darius Sosnauskas, a Lithuanian outdoorsman who works in the Yellowstone National Park in the U.S., loves taking walks in his home's backyard in his leisure time. His house is located next to the park. His backyard and the park touch each other's boundary. Darius, while taking a walk in his backyard, saw something very unusual. Yellowstone National Park is the first national park built in the U.S. and also is the first national park in the world. The region sprawls over 3,468.4 square miles that consist of canyons, mountain ranges, rivers, and lakes. The historical park is very rich in fauna, as it has more than 1,700 kinds of trees and other vascular plants. Yellowstone has over 60 species of mammals that includes coyote, timberwolf, and many more. So the fun part of having the backyard next to the park is that one can come across any animal at any time. That is what happened with Sosnauskas. While taking a walk in his backyard, he encountered a pregnant deer. He must have come from the park. The deer was about to give birth to her babies, and Sosnauskas was very excited to behold the moment. He thought of capturing this magnificent moment and hurriedly brought his camera from inside. The deer was all set to bring her babies to the world, and surprisingly, that very moment was going to bring a big change in Darius's life. He had been recording the moment, and we have brought the video for you. Go through the next few slides and watch that cute video. Different mammals have different gestation periods. A dog's gestation period prolongs to 58-65 days, whereas an elephant has it for about 617 days. A white-tailed deer pregnancy duration stretched up to 280 days, and same goes for humans. Darius loves capturing extraordinary moments. Despite being a worker of the park, he had never seen a deer giving birth to her fawn from so close before. Naturally, he knew it was going to be a spectacular sight to witness. It was then the deer began to prepare for giving birth. However, the ecstasy of Darius was short-lived. While after the birth of those 2 fawns, mother deer decided to head back to their home. It was then Darius noticed one of the fawns was not able to move, as the fawn was having an injured front leg. Apparently, the baby deer's first steps did not go as well as expected. Darius recalled the fawn was helpless. She was just born earlier that day and still had some blood on her belly. The baby deer might have gotten her front leg injured due to falling down hard while coming into this world. However, injury of this kind is a rare phenomenon. This fawn must have been very weak. That is why she broke her leg upon falling, whereas the other one was perfectly fit. With an injured leg, she was having a problem standing on her feet, let alone walking. However, she continued chasing her mother but failed to match up the pace with her wounded leg. Darius felt very bad for the fawn, but was assured that her mother would surely come up with a solution. No doubt the scene was heartbreaking, but what happened next shocked Darius even more. Well, whenever we are distressed or unable to pick ourselves up, it is our mom who gets us going. You can call her the most selfless human on earth. No doubt the only person who loves us the most is our mother, and that is true not only for humans but for animals too. You may have seen mother animal protecting their young ones from every danger they sense. Darius expected the same from dear mother. Shockingly, the mother deer decided to go back to her place, leaving behind her injured white-tailed doe. Darius could see the mother and one of the fawn moving ahead, whereas the injured one tried following her with her broken leg. Unfortunately, her mother kept on going ahead without turning back once. Darius, who was filming the entire scenario, was completely shocked by Mother Deer's decision. Perhaps she did not want to put hers and her healthy fawn's life in danger, and that is why she continued stepping forward. The injured fawn kept gazing at her mother, who was headed back to her hideout with her healthy fawn. The two soon disappeared, and now the newly born fawn was all by herself. As mentioned earlier, the ground was adjacent to the national park, so was open to any kind of animal, including the dangerous ones. The baby doe, on the other hand, was too naive and weak to protect her own self. For instance, one day Darius captured a bear walking in his backyard. Keeping all these things in mind, Darius decided to do something that he had never done before. He decided to bring the fawn home. Darius maintained, "I do not support keeping wild animals as pets." Darius clarified in his caption of the video, but this was a special situation. It was to see how this wild creature was going to respond to an all-new world. Darius explained, with so many predators around, she had no chance to survive on her own. Something had to be done, and being an animal lover himself, he decided to bring the fawn home. There was one more problem lying ahead. Now, it was going to be a tricky situation for Darius. He already had lots of pets, including cats and dogs, and this one was completely different from all of them. It was to see how they were going to react to the new member. Darius explained she was hungry and had no problem with any of my pets. For the first week, she slept by my bed on my shirt, and the shirt became very important to her. He continued, she had to have it to be able to sleep. The very first thing that Darius did after bringing the deer home was to address her wounds, because of which her mother had left her. He had a perfect solution for the injury. He took a splint from an oatmeal box in use to keep her leg in perfect place. Taking care of a wounded newly born is not an easy feat. Darius, who had no prior experience of treating a deer, was extremely confused about how to take care of her. Darius opens up about the extensive research he went through for the same. Along with reading books, he did many searches online on how to take care of a baby fawn. He revealed, "I had to do some internet research and reading to be able to understand how to raise a fawn. Get up at night to feed her every 4 hours and clean after her." Every concern of Darius withered away when he saw the fawn mixing up so well with his other pets. In fact, the animals welcomed her with an open heart. She soon became very good friends with the other animals. The help provided by Darius proved a life-changing miracle for the fawn. She finally had learned to walk, though she was yet to learn running. She loved to play with other pets, especially with Mac, a Bernese mountain dog. In fact, Mac and the fawn became friends the very first day. Mac had been helping the cute little fawn from the very beginning. Darius explains Mac was a big help. He added further, because he just loved her and cleaned her so good. The dog treated the deer as his pup. Darius sheds light on their relationship. He was a very good dad, always kept a close eye, and didn't let her wander off. 2 weeks had passed by, and now the little fawn looked absolutely fine. It was time for her to go back to where she belonged. Darius had planned everything. No doubt Darius, too, had grown fond of the fawn, and was not unaware of the fact that she loved him too. She's already used to me, and she follows me, but nobody can replace her real mom. It was a difficult decision to make for Darius, as the fawn had become an integral part of his family, and now was the time to bid goodbye to her. He had planned everything. There could be some mother looking for deer, and I will try to give the little fawn I have to her to adopt, Darius says in the video, but nothing went as planned. In fact, something really unexpected took place. Darius finally set the fawn free, not knowing that his action was going to trigger an amazing chain of events. Finally came the moment when Darius kissed his fawn goodbye. He left her in his backyard and headed back to his home. The moment he reached his home, he saw something really amazing. Just when he was about to enter the home, he sensed a figure standing behind him. He looked back only to see the fawn. The baby deer did not want to leave him, and that is why she was following him back to his home. Next day, again, Darius took her to the backyard and left her there, hoping that this time the fawn would not follow him. Yet again she followed him all the way back to his house. This continued to happen for many days, until one evening. It was difficult for Darius to find out the fawn's real family, as every deer looked the same to him. Darius explains the deer are looking like, what the heck is going on? However, he continued leaving the baby doe with a herd of deer he came across, hoping that they would be her family. But the fawn, as usual, would come back to him. After many days of refusing to leave Darius, the deer finally left her savior. It happened when she saw her mother strolling in the same backyard. This time she ran fast towards her mother. It was amazing how this baby buck, despite her mother's cold behavior, still yearned for her company. After the reunion, the trio went back to the park. Once again, Darius felt a pang of pain, but was also happy that the baby doe had finally gone where she should have. Unfortunately, Darius did not have his camera with him to capture the moment. Darius explained, "Since day one, I was hoping to release baby deer back to the wild." He saw all of them heading back to their place and was extremely happy and content about the step he took for the baby deer. Along with that, he also hoped that the baby deer would not come back to him like the earlier times. Darius expressed his concern by saying, "I really hope that she did not get attached to me too much, because that would make it very hard for her to survive in the wild. She would become an easy target for hunters and predators." You may have noticed that we have not called the baby deer by any name. It is because Darius did not name her, and here's the reason why. He did not christen the baby doe because, according to him, it could have invited many dangers in her future life. Needless to say that ever since the fawn left his home, Darius and all the pets missed her. Darius loved her a lot and hoped to see her again, but the question is, did he ever get the chance to meet the fawn again? Yes, he did. He explained, "I've seen the family many times after release, also seen them recently in the fall, and Mother Deer usually does not go too far from the place where she feels safe, so she stays around the area." Darius went on to say, "It is a very, very good feeling seeing them safe roaming around. The man keeps bumping into the deer and her family now and then. The baby fawn is living a very happy life with her family." The mesmerizing video got over 1.1 million views. With such a huge success of his video, Darius puts it in the caption, "I didn't expect this story to become so popular." He continues, "I'm sure that any of us with a little bit of a conscience about our existence, with love for nature and animals, would do the same."